started my corporate career as a marketing professional in year 2000, and I hugely enjoyed it. I worked in different spaces as a research and consulting professional, as somebody handling a product line in an industrial space. So I did different things, but all the time, no matter how much I enjoyed what I was doing, somewhere there was this entrepreneurial bug waiting to bite, saying that you probably want to do your own thing. And at the same time, when this first wave of Indian blogging took off in 2004, I realized that my own blog and the blogs of other women like me were so diverse. We were talking about so many things that interested us, whether it was food or fashion or women's rights or politics. The world of Indian women's magazines, in contrast, seemed so unidimensional and glossy. And I asked myself that, hey, if women's lives are so diverse and filled with so many different things, and we're asking so many questions, how come the magazines that supposedly cater to us are so unidimensional? And I said, okay, if that magazine doesn't exist, and it didn't back then, let me create it myself. And that's how Women's Web was born in 2010. I think the biggest ingredient, if you could call it that, which goes into creating the magic at Women's Web, is simply finding people who believe in the vision that Women's Web has. Over these last 8 years, obviously we've had some good hires, some bad hires that didn't quite work out for us. And one thing we've learned is that the times when magic really happens is when the team truly believes and internalizes what Women's Web is trying to do here, which is enable women to tell their own stories and inspire each other. So when we find people who believe in that, magic happens. For me, the second thing as a leader is my own style is that I believe it's best to give people complete clarity over their goals and the tools that they need to achieve them, and then leave them alone. Don't kind of stand behind their desks and micromanage them, because I hate that being done to me. So I refuse to do it to other people. So I think that's the second part of it, that as a leader you really need to find the best people and then let them do their magic. So outside of work, I tend to be this person who would, given a choice, just sit on the couch and read all day if I were at home. But when I'm not at home, the thing that I love doing the most is being in the hills. For me, just being out in nature, taking a forest walk, being under the canopy of trees, just hearing the sound of leaves, crunching underneath your feet as you walk. All of these are really what act as a huge restorative. And that's part of the reason why my husband and I, over the last 6 or 7 years, we've taken on what sometimes seems like a very foolhardy project, but it's really to have our own home in the hills, and we've made a lot of sacrifices for it. We've given up on a lot of the foreign trips that we could have had. So obviously it's meant making a lot of sacrifices, but to us, having that home in the hills, which is on the one hand a big stressful project to take on, but on the other hand it's something so precious to us and really gives us a huge sense of satisfaction when it's been completed, which is very recently. So that to me is one of the things I really love doing outside of work, just going to the hills and having amazing downtime there. If I just had to say one thing to women today, it would be believe in your own story. As somebody who runs a digital platform that's all about women telling their own stories, I can't tell you how powerful it's been for women to hear each other's stories and feel supported, no matter how small or insignificant that story may seem to you. So if I just had to say one thing, that would be it. Believe in your own story.